Exodus chapter 24. And he said unto Moses, Come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with him. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord, and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice, and said, All the words which the Lord hath said will we do. And Moses wrote all the words of the Lord, and rose up early in the morning, and builded an altar under the hill, and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings, and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood, and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant, and read in the audience of the people, and they said, All that the Lord hath said will we do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood, and sprinkled it on the people, and said, Behold the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses, and Aaron, Nadab, and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel. And they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet, as it were, a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand. Also they saw God, and did eat and drink. And the Lord said unto Moses, Come up to me in the mount, and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone, and a law, and commandments which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up, and his minister Joshua, and Moses went up into the mount of God. And he said unto the elders, Tarry ye here for us, until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount. And the glory of the Lord abode upon Mount Sinai. And the cloud covered it 6 days, and the 7th day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud. And the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devouring fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud, and gat him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. For the people of Israel, this is an absolutely crucial chapter in their history. It shows the covenant. Now, Moses read all the words. There was a book that he read out of, the book of the covenant. We don't have that anywhere in the Bible. There are 14 books that are mentioned by name in the Bible that we don't have, and that's one of them. So the Bible isn't complete. We know that. But we know pretty well what God said because we're told what he said. We just don't know what was in the book, whether there was anything else. But even though it was in a book, even though Moses read it, even though the people said, all that God has said, that will we do, nothing was considered confirmed until there was a sacrifice. And so they sacrificed oxen. Half of the blood was spilled upon the altar, which was necessary, and the other half was put in basins, which would be bowls, large bowls. And then it was sprinkled on the people. And the normal process for sprinkling on the people was to dip a branch that had leaves of some kind in it. And as the people filed by, to flick it there so that some drops of blood would fly through the air and land on the people. And this was symbolic of half of the blood was on the altar. That was the confirmation of God that I am bound with this, and the other half on the people, they are bound with this. And God had made the covenant that he would do for them what he said he would do. Now there were several promises that were made. One of the promises was that an angel would go before them into the promised land. Another one would be that he would fight their enemies. Another one would be that they would multiply, and they and their herds. Another one would be they would be healthy. And another one would be that he would fight their enemies, and that they would inherit all the land from the Philistines all the way through to the Euphrates River, which was a huge territory, much larger than Israel has ever had. And these were the covenants that God made. And the only criteria, the only thing that wasn't already known, was whether or not the people would be faithful to their end of the covenant. Because although God makes a covenant, they're always conditional upon your obedience and your faithfulness. And so you might covenant to do something, but if you don't do your part, don't expect God to do his part. That's the interesting thing. And these people learned that the really hard way. Now, and Moses and Joshua and Aaron and Hur and Abihu and 70 elders, witnesses, these people all go partway up the mountain. And then Joshua and Moses go a little bit further. And then Moses goes on all the way. And Joshua waits for him. And Moses said, if the people have any problems, then let them talk to these two guys who are further down, and they'll make the decision. But while I'm up talking to God, don't bother coming up, guys, because you're not supposed to. Now he's up there 40 days and 40 nights. And some people don't even ask any questions. What do you suppose was happening up there for 40 days and 40 nights? Here we have one of the great prophets of all time. We have him facing a challenge of a couple of million whiner people, not all of them, but a lot of them, in a hospital, in a very challenging country. Lord is feeding them with manna every day. They're getting water. They have sheep, goats, animals. They have all kinds of problems. They have all kinds of complaints. They have all kinds of murmuring. They have all kinds of things they need to learn how to do. And what do you think God chose to use that 40 days for? He could have done anything with it. What would it make sense to do? Now, because we weren't there, we don't notice. We don't know for sure. We can speculate a little bit. Wouldn't you tell your prophet, if you know and can prophesy what's coming down the road in the future? Wouldn't you tell your prophet some of the things that were going to happen, some of the challenges he was going to face, some of the things that he would have to decide? And if he decided a certain way, how it would work out. If he decided a different way, how it would work out. I think he used that as a time to educate Moses, because he wasn't going to be able to educate the people. Most of these people, the adults anyway, were fixed in their attitudes, fixed in their minds, fixed in their behaviors, fixed in their attitudes, and they weren't likely to change. We find out later on that all the ones who were over the age of 21, at one point down the road a little bit, all of them had to die before they would be, the ones that were left would be allowed to go into the promised land. And the reason they had to die was because they had proven unfit to inherit. And so that was all the older ones. They were the ones that would complain. The younger ones wouldn't complain to Moses. They wouldn't murmur. They'd just be obedient. So that's how it went. So Moses is up there 40 days and 40 nights, and they see the thunder and the lightning and the fire and the cloud and all the rest of this stuff. And we find out what they do about that. After having just committed to do 100% of everything God said, we find out how long that commitment lasted next time.